What is up, guys? Welcome to JS Racing. My name is Jason. So for the last few days, I've been working on preparing for the race for the coming week. So next week, it's going to be the KTGP race. I'm just going to clean the camera a little bit more. Yeah, so it's going to be the KTGP race, and we'll be providing 4 engines for them to test on. So these are going to be the ZR16 Endurance. So it's just basically the ZR16 with the Endurance kit, and also 1 extra engine that has a bit more higher horsepower. I'm guessing it's around like 20, 21, something like that. Yeah, here it is. I'm actually just finished draining all the oil, so it's ready to go on the rack. And I'll show you the rack. So that's the rack. I mean, everything is drained, so that's why I'm able to have it stand, vertically. But yeah, the idea is have all the 4 engines fit into this rack, and it'll slide into that slot in the bottom of that case. So this bucket is all the spare parts, as you can see. So this is all the spare parts. This one is all the tools, some spare parts, and then all the rest I need to fit into this case as well. I've already tried a few times, so it all fits, and yeah, it's going to work out fine. I'm also going to be bringing the intercooler with all the adapter, everything, because we want to test it out with this kit. This is the new Endurance kit. It's not the final version. The final version is going to look a lot nicer than this one. But yeah, we're going to test it out and see just how well it works to cool down the oil. So yeah, we're going to be bringing this. I 3D printed a completely new cover case sort of thing. It's done with like a silver PLA, so it looks a lot nicer. Yeah, so there are a couple of exhausts that I'll be bringing. So I'll be also bringing the original exhaust that I've been doing dynos on. So after this is sent away, I'm going to have to use a different exhaust to go dynoing all my engines, but that's fine. I mean, I have a couple of different exhausts. I'll just do like a baseline, and then I'll test all the other settings on the same exhaust. We'll be fine. So this one is done by the KTGP guys. So I think I showed you guys in the previous exhaust video as well. So this one is not that great because of these 2 really acute 90 degrees angle at for the header section. So the unique characteristic for this exhaust, though, is that you will get a lot of higher low-end torque because of these right angle sections, and then on the higher end, supposedly with the wider tailpipe, you'll be able to have less resistance, but it doesn't work out that way. But yeah, wider is still better than nothing. Yeah, anyway, so that's pretty much it with packing for the race. So another thing that we sort of discovered is that there's this new supplier that actually sells a lot of those export parts, like the things that you'll be able to find online, and that is these rockers. I've actually tested them out. I mean, I've assembled an engine with these, and the problem I have is with the cylinder head cover, these are so high that it's going to hit the intersection of the cylinder cover. So what that means is, you see this section, okay, this level, whatever. So like there's actually 2 layers with these cylinder covers, like with these stock cylinder covers. The inside layer is actually a one-way valve to prevent engine oil from flying out this way, which I actually really like, because for previous versions of the cylinder cover, I did take them out, and I found that these weren't that great with keeping the engine oil in. So I always try to keep that layer inside now, but unfortunately with the new rockers, that's not possible. So I'm going to have to figure something out to have them working somehow, and also keeping the oil in. So the other version of the rockers are these ones. So these ones supposedly are cheaper, not as good. I don't know the difference, to be honest, but we're going to have to test them out. And it's great that we're able to buy some fancy new things to, try out. Another really cool thing we got from this supplier is this crankcase. So this is a very special crankcase that is very similar to the Tillotson one. So this crankcase, the Tillotson one first has an extra chunk on the front, so you don't need to use the flimsy, stock I don't know what you call that. It's like a little, very thin little cover that prevents stuff from entering from the front. So Tillotson has a built-in one, and I really like that one, but I'm not able to get that crankcase. So unfortunately, yeah. Anyway, so they have a really beautiful crankcase. And another feature from the Tillotson is these. So these are all built in. Like there's top and a bottom cover, and these covers allow the the wind or the air that is generated from the flywheel to cool the cylinder head. But because it's now built in, I don't have to use those crappy, cheap-looking covers. So that's what I really like about them. And another thing about these crankcases is that they're not 225, although it is a 72 bore, but the cylinder is a lot deeper. It's about 3 millimeters deeper. So it works out to be around, I think, 236 cc. So it's a bit bigger. So yeah, this crankcase is interesting, and I built an engine with it, but I did find there are a couple of problems that doesn't really work out with our current setups. The first is these three pieces, just these three pieces, actually blocks our endurance kit valves. So these two valves are not going to be able to fit with these guys still there. So what I did with one of the crankcases that I built with that endurance kit is that I just used a hammer and knocked these three pieces out. So nice and crude. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you look at this area with the tappet, so this slope in the bottom of the tappet holes, it's actually blocking the tappet from actually going all the way to like the flat end of the tappet hole. So what happened with my build was that those tappets were hitting against the crankcase, and there was like this really loud knocking sound. I'll show you a video. But yeah, so you can hear that there's a really distinct loud knocking sound, and it's basically the tappet hitting the crankcase. So yeah, I'm gonna have to work something out, either, I don't know, shaving the tappet to make it smaller, or somehow try to find longer push rods. But anyway, so I'm still trying to work that out. Another problem that I find with this crankcase though is that the this hole that holds the camshaft in place is a bit wider than what we're used to. So when you're trying to put the case cover on, the camshaft would move a lot more than it is supposed to, so you have to line up a bit better. So I don't know how that's gonna affect the operation of the engine in the long term, because it's going to be wobbling a lot more. So I don't know, it might affect the camshaft somehow. But yeah, so far that's all the things that I've discovered with this crankcase. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this one, because yeah, there are a lot of nice features with it. I mean, like the governor hole is already sealed, and the front there are no holes, because in stock engines you'll find that hole, it's meant for the oil level sensor, but since that is unnecessary for karting engines, they just sealed it. And yeah, I'm not sure what this screw is for though, like this one here. Not really sure what that is for, because I've never seen that for my other crankcases. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out. I mean, I'll be asking the supplier to see what that means as well. So, oh, and they also have these push rods. So these are a lot thicker, like double the width of the stock push rods that we're used to using. But I think what they told us was the heads are steel, and then the body, like the length of the rod, is aluminium. So I don't know how strong these are, but they look thick. So hopefully that will actually resolve our problem with having too much torque, like with the 8 degrees timing, and it won't bend. So I bought a bunch to test out, and hopefully it'll work out fine. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much what we've been working on. All right, guys, so just as I was about to record my outro, a new package arrived from the supplier, and I actually ordered some new carburetors. So here we are, it's all here. So this is a PWK26, this is a 21, and 6 VM22s, which is pretty much a standard for the ZR16, the ZR22. And also I got these new ignition coils, and these ignition coils are supposedly rated at 10,000 RPM. So that's great, because I had this really strange experience once where I was using the stock ignition coils, and somehow, I don't know, like I had too many things attached to the ignition cap or something, like, because I had like two cables like wrapped around it. One was the timer and the other one was the computer. I don't know, maybe that damaged it or somehow, but anyway, the ignition coil started limiting the RPM to 5,000 RPM, so that was really weird. So I just got these new ones to, you know, try out and see how reliable they are. And also, another thing that he sells is these. I don't know what you call them, but these ones are a lot better than stock ones, because these ones actually hold the spring in place and makes it straighter. So another thing that we've had a problem with was that the stock ones, they would wear out somehow and they would start sort of twisting in one direction, and once that happens, the spring would just break very, very soon. So yeah, hopefully these are going to be able to hold them a lot straighter and make the springs last a bit longer. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think there are still some parts missing from the package that he didn't send, so I'm going to be texting him right now, and yeah, I'll be keeping you guys updated on any new things. So anyway, that's it for this video. I'll talk to you guys a bit later. Peace.